like to call to order the Hatfield Township Board of Commissioners regular meeting for February 27th, 2019. Roll call.
President Zipfel.
Here.
Vice President Hughes.
Here.
Commissioner Andrus.
Here.
Commissioner Rogers.
Here.
Commissioner Thomas.
Here.
I'd like to ask Mayank Amin to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight, and afterwards I will explain why I've asked him to do so. So the reason I asked Mayank to do that is not only because he is a member of BAPS Temple, which is near here, which is one of our best communities. They do a lot of great things for the Hatfield community, but he is also the new owner of Skip Back Pharmacy. He's a longtime Hatfield resident. He owns Skip Back Pharmacy. He's serving much of Montgomery County, and tonight, for a few hours, he offered free flu shots. I had to practice saying that so I didn't trip myself up. Free flu shots to any Hatfield resident who came in this evening. So I want to thank you very much for doing that, not only for all the work that you've done when you're in your position at BAPS, but also tonight for coming here and allowing us to benefit from your profession. So thank you again. Again, that's Skip Back Pharmacy in serving all of Montgomery County. So thanks, Mr. Amin. All right, we're going to move on to approving tonight's agenda. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Rogers.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Thomas. All in favor of approving the agenda that's before you, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved and we can move forward. Is there a motion to move into the record the consent items listed in your agenda? Motion by Commissioner Thomas. Second. Second by Commissioner Andrus. Those consent items are the Board of Commissioners regular meeting for January 23, the Board of Commissioners workshop meeting for February 13, the Treasurer's report for the month of February, and the bills payable, paid bills in the amount of $46,200.34, and unpaid bills in the amount of $316,111.20. With that, I'll call the question. All in favor of moving those items into the record, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Okay, citizens' comments on agenda items. Are there citizens' comments on any agenda items? So that is an action item. That's number 3 tonight. So you can, if you like, you can come to the podium and speak now, or if you...
Mr. President, I see she is in some crutches. I'll get you a microphone, if you don't mind. Okay.
Okay, before you do that, would you like to speak at the time of the action item, or would you like to speak now? It doesn't matter to us. It's a small crowd tonight.
So my understanding was...
We do, sorry to interrupt, but we do need you on a microphone, or else everyone watching can't hear anything that you're saying.
Aaron, why don't you bring in the
I
microphone
can bring
now?
you the mic,
Yeah.
or if you can go to the podium, whatever you prefer. All right, sorry to make you walk.
And ma'am, can you please state your name and address for the record?
My name is Anna Puglisi, and I live at 464 Mininger Road in Solderton. We came tonight because they are putting in the 309 bypass directly behind our house, and it was our understanding that the sound barrier wall and all that kind of stuff would be discussed tonight. That's all I have to say about that.
All right.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, so I think a few of the items might have got mixed up when being communicated, because PennDOT is meeting with all of the residents that live in that area where you live.
Okay.
Hold on, I have it, because I'll be here, and Vice President Hughes has been in many of those meetings as well. I think it's March 6th, so it's next week.
March 6th.
Next week at 7 o'clock in the community room down the hall. PennDOT will be there to talk specifically about the sound barriers and get feedback from the residents as far as what it will look like and what you're interested in seeing during the project.
Okay.
So that isn't, I mean, we're going to talk about it briefly only because the township will be transferring some of the right-of-way needed to build the road, but as far as specifics, next week's the meeting that would be more beneficial for you.
Okay, then we're going to leave.
Okay.
And we appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome to stay.
We just missed Final Jeopardy.
So has much of the town, as you can see. Well, thank you very much for coming out.
Good job.
All right, any other citizens' comments on agenda items? Hearing none, we have a, oh, sure,
Please.
sure. You want to wait until we get there? That's fine. We have a special item tonight. District Justice Ed Levine will be here, but he's not here at this moment, so we're going to move on to our action items, and then we will double back to that item on our agenda. So we have 3 action items tonight, not a heavy agenda. We've had some heavy agendas more recently. Tonight is a little lighter evening. The first one is regarding the Line Street Culvert Replacement Project. Is there a motion to award the bid to DOLI Construction Corporation in the amount of $247,093 as recommended by the Township Engineer?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Andrews, second by Commissioner Rogers. Aaron, do you want to walk us through this?
Yeah, I can do a quick summary. I think I'm going to have to do some filibustering anyway to wait for Judge Levine. So this is a project that we've identified years ago. There was some failure on a culvert in a pipe that went through Line Street. And we've dealt with the resident over the years, and the Public Works had done some Band-Aid to this facility. And as Brian, the township engineer, said a few weeks ago, and gave a much more technical and a much better description of what I'm going to say, we're simply fixing a problem. And thankfully, we're fixing a problem in a year that we're also paving Line Street too. So we're gonna fix this culvert. We're gonna solve some of the problems for the residents down there, and then Township and Montgomery Township, we share the cost because we share the road. We're sharing the cost of this project as well, but then we'll also share 50-50 costs to repave the road, which will be also happening in 19. So this is awarding the bid to the contractor who will be doing the work. Brian's office will be leading the way and inspecting and coordinating and making sure the project is done before school is back in session in the fall.
247 is the total cost, right? And that's going to be split between us and Montgomery Township?
It's not an even split. It was a negotiated split. The cap was $80,000 contribution from Montgomery Township based on the location of all the facilities. But the majority of the cost will be Hatfield Township,
Yeah.
but it will be a shared cost.
But this, we're going to get $80,000 back, up to $80,000 back on this 247.
Correct. We're going to get all 80,000 back. Yeah, so this minus 80.
Got it.
Correct.
All right, any other questions, comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of that motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. All right, Resolution 19-03. Is there a motion for approval with regard to the Hatfield Township Municipal Authority 2019-2020 budget?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Thomas.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rogers. For those of you who are here and watching, the HTMA budget is essentially, I don't think there's any increase, is that correct?
Correct.
So we've said this before, same great service, same low price. We had a presentation of the, or discussion of the budget a couple of weeks ago, and tonight is the evening when we approve the resolution associated with that. Any other commissioners or anyone else have any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of Resolution 19-03, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Last is right-of-way transfer to PennDOT 309 Connector Road. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Rogers. Second by Commissioner Andrus. Aaron, do you want to maybe brief us again on what this is? And I know the gentleman in the
Sure.
front would like to make a comment.
Yeah, sure. So this is the right-of-way necessary that the township currently owns that will be transferred or considered for transfer to PennDOT in order to have the needed right-of-way in order to begin construction on the connector road, which right now ends at Wombold Road at Allentown, and this will connect, this phase of the connector will take it all the way to Hatfield Souderton Pike. Beyond now, the item that we're only speaking about tonight is the right-of-way associated with the Westport Farms development. That was the right-of-way given to the township during that land development, and that would be then transferred over. It's my understanding that the majority of the right-of-way for the entire portion of this phase has been acquired already by PennDOT. There's still a little bit pieces that they're finalizing this year. The plan, according to PennDOT, is that early 2020, the project would be bid and construction would begin at some point in 2020, which is already next year.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Sir, in the front, you had a question.
If you look on the map.
Excuse me, sir, can you please state your name and
Oh,
address
that's,
for the record?
sure. Donald Huber, 17 Elroy Road in Souderton. My house is on the corner of Elroy and Menninger Road. One of the early proposals from PennDOT was that the corner of the road was going to be adjusted to make a turn lane into the connector. When this was proposed, there was no traffic light on Elroy Road. It was supposed to be cul-de-sacs. So the impact on our property on that corner is in question because of what traffic patterns are going to be affected. So my point is, have anything been done by the people in this room to worry about what the neighbors are? We're all concerned about the wall, the impact of the construction, the property values, and that's why I'm here tonight, because it really concerns me that PennDOT has taken this is the way, or this is the highway, and this is the way it's going to be. So I just want to leave my comments that it really concerns us about construction for the next 3 years and beyond. Could you give me some comment?
Sure. So just first thing to keep in mind is that it is entirely a PennDOT project, right? We just happen to be one of the municipalities that the road runs through, as well as Souderton and Franconia and Townmenson and a portion of Lower Salford. So we've been involved as you have been involved. So we hear information from PennDOT, we facilitate information. We've had some town hall meetings, but not that much. PennDOT, I know, is communicating with the residents, your neighbors,
Right.
where the sound barrier will go. But it's, the one thing regarding your question, my understanding, the latest design shows a traffic signal at Elroy along the
Right.
connector road. But as far as the details, we give feedback based on what the residents reach out and express, and where it goes from there is ultimately PennDOT's decision.
Well, recently, Menninger Road has been changed to no truck traffic, which could impact how traffic flows, the truck traffic from Hatfield and Franconia through this whole area. And I don't know if it really has been addressed. It just concerns me, and I just wanted to let you know my feelings tonight.
We appreciate your feedback. The purpose of this road is to collect all of those trucks, take them off of your street, and
Right.
put them onto this new connector road, which is really going to be a big benefit to many neighborhoods in Hatfield that now experience a lot of truck traffic.
Yeah,
And
it's
now with towns like Franconia and Townmenson who have banned trucks, and Hatfield Borough who have banned trucks, there isn't
Right.
many options for trucks now to get around.
Except to run through Hatfield Township,
through
so they
their
push them
side.
out off of their roads and on our roads, so.
They should be on 309 and on the turnpike, not on our back roads. That's all I have to say.
We all agree with you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out. And then you heard about Wednesday next week if you're, okay, great. And that'll be in the community room right down the block. Okay, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of the pending motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Your Honor, perfect timing. If you would go up to the podium, that would be great. For the folks who do not know, Judge Levine, this is District Justice Ed Levine, who has been our District Justice for about 3-4 years now, and he periodically comes in and provides us an update with the good work that he does in Hatfield, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. It's such an intimate night tonight.
It-
Where is everybody? I'm not used to this. It's
I
usually
think there's a
packed
Villanova
house.
game, so
Yeah,
I think
the
that's really
crowd's
what's
left.
going on.
Oh, the Villanova game's tonight? Who are they playing?
I'm not really sure. I should know that, though.
I'll Google it.
Gotta be sure they're playing.
Well, thank you guys for coming in. I'm your district judge. And I'm just going over the numbers. It's basically a simple presentation telling you what's going on. I don't know how I flip it forward. There's probably a little clicky.
I'll take care of it, Judge. Would you like to control it, or you want me to?
No, you can control it. Overall numbers, these are for traffic, non-traffic, and for criminals. So those are the ones that your police department are really involved in. And as you can see, Hatfield's gone down a little bit. Things are...
Much gentler community than
I don't know what's going on. That might be Duffy's area that's getting their butt kicked. But Hatfield's gone down a little bit, which is interesting because you're full staffed now, and you've had a lot of good new guys in there, so you expect maybe more traffic tickets or something like that. But it's pretty much stabilized, but that's a good thing. I mean, the less non-traffics and criminals you have, that's fine by me. We'll take it. Lansdale's up just a tad. Talmenson's down a little bit. So the total in terms of those numbers are down a little bit, which is great. But they're still pretty high concerning where we are in the county. In terms of criminal caseload, we're still 6th in the county compared to the 30 other courts. We're 7th in terms of traffic, and we are, where are we in non-traffic? 11th. Which isn't too bad. You have to consider that this is all of Talmenson, all of Lansdale Borough, and half of Hatfield and all the Hatfield Borough. So that's a pretty large amount, a pretty big population. So you'd expect our numbers to be up there. It's not surprising. It's not like, oh my gosh, we're a crazy community. You got to remember also, places like Norristown have 3 district judges in there. Lower Merion has 3 different district judges. So they bifurcate everything. But we can click over to the next one. This is the overall totals. This is the trends over the years. I highlighted 2014 because that's when Hatfield came into our court, and those numbers jumped up. But overall, you can see numbers in terms of crime, non-traffic, and traffic. Well, the traffic's up a little bit. I can kind of explain that. But our civil and landlord tenant keep increasing every year, and I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But that's the general overall numbers. Nothing crazy, but the court continues to grow. We continue to get a lot of work. I do want to give credit to my staff. I don't know if anyone's ever been over there, but they are busy. They're a great staff. We were pretty much understaffed all of last year. I think I went through 2 new employees that we had to let go of because they weren't cutting it. But we are finally at full staff. And then, of course, when we get to full staff, my landlord-tenant clerk and my civil clerk, all in the same, just had twins, so she's going to be out for a little while. We're going to make do. We do what we do, and my girls are outstanding, so I want to give them a lot of credit, at least on the record, with you guys. So we'll flip to the next one, which should be criminal, down 131. And it really doesn't trend. It's not like things are going up or going down. Everything's pretty much stable, and that's a good sign. I mean, you get what you get. I can't really give a real breakdown. You may know, Chief, better than I do. In general, it's driving under the influence, it's domestic, and it's drugs. Those are going to be the big 3, and it's not like one is greater than the other. They seem to be pretty well rounded in the community, what you're going to get and how you're going to get it. And sometimes they're interrelated. So that's why I couldn't break down, well, this person did this. Sometimes they're doing both. Sometimes they're doing all 3. You never know what you're going to get. You guys do get a little more retail theft because you have Kohl's and you have ShopRite and all those wonderful places that people like to do their thing. But we have great security over there, and these guys do a good job. But overall, the numbers, I mean, jumped a little bit, but back where they were in 2013 or 2014. And if we flip to the next one, traffic, right where we were. Everything's the same. Everything's going well. I just saw the 309 connector. We'll see what that does in terms of traffic tickets. I know 40-foot road's going to expand as well, I think in the next year or 2. That could make some things interesting. So, you know, the guys are on it. They do a good job. They're very fair. They're very good to the defendants that come in. No problems there. So we're doing good in terms of traffic, and it's actually kind of gone down a little bit since 2014, but very stable. And then we get to our next one, which is non-traffic. This is good. It's down to 97, and non-traffic's I call them the stupid crimes. This is your underage drinking. This is your public drunkenness. your harassment stuff, little fights, minor things that aren't cool enough to be a felony or a misdemeanor. They're just dumb things that people do, and it's going down. And that's a good sign. That means the community's getting a little smarter. At least I like to think it's that way. But it's gone down pretty dramatically since 2014. And that also could be due to police working with the community, working with the people, quelling the situation. Could also be the schools keeping it a little more internal, which is a good thing. They deal with it before it gets out to the district court. They bring it to juvenile courts. And finally, our next slide. These are civil and landlord-tenant cases. These are our biggies. You know, when you talk in terms of caseload and how busy we are, we're number 4 in the county compared to the other 30, which is pretty high, and the ones that are ahead of us are because they're predominantly traffic. Well, we're predominantly everything. Our civils, the brackets next, and we're 3rd in the county in terms of civil caseload. And most of the civils are going to be your credit card debt sort of stuff, you know, other things, debt owed, things like that. Somebody didn't pave your driveway correctly. But that keeps us busy. Those generally are going to be hearings in front of me, and people come in pro se and sometimes with an attorney. But we're picking up every year, and I think that's mainly due to the population increases a little bit every year. Landlord-tenant, we're number 2. We're number 2. We're going to be number 1. I really have a feeling about this because Lansdale keeps expanding. Hatfield Village isn't going anywhere. That's a lot of landlord tenants. But the thing I wanted to point out to you guys, and I did to Lansdale, you'd think more rental properties, there's going to be more crime, more of an underbelly of people who aren't based in the community. They're kind of more transient. We're renting. Not the case. I think these rental communities, they do a good job vetting the possible renters. They do a good job keeping on top of them in terms of paying their rent, in terms of credit, all of those things. So while we're getting more and more landlord tenants, the crime numbers have not gone up. So I spin it as a positive, and it's probably going to go up even more. I wouldn't be surprised if we're number 1 in terms of landlord tenant in a couple of years. We'll see what happens. In closing, I did want to point out to you guys and to you two, we do have Civics 101 through Lansdale Borough, but it's open to everybody. I bring the people into the court, I explain what we do, I bring them in the holding cell, I lock them in there for a minute, they have a great time. That's going to be March 14th at 7 o'clock at night. So you guys, you're going to be there, right? Right on, man. But that's it. Any questions? Anything?
You mentioned that rental properties do a better job of vetting. So what is a landlord-tenant case typically?
Usually, most of the time, it's somebody behind in the rent. They either had something happen with their job or Social Security or something, and it's just, they know that they're behind, and you're trying to work out a deal. I mean, if they can't work out a payment plan of some sort, you know, you'll get possession. The fun landlord-tenant ones are the ones where it's a private landlord, who is somebody, you know, doesn't really know what they're doing anyway, but they want to own a property and they want to rent it out, and they don't really vet their renter too well, and next thing they know, they're 5 months behind and $7,000 in the hole, and it gets crazy, or they got roaches. It's nuts. Those are the fun ones, although those are the ones where I get the most angry. But overall, I mean, Hatfield Village, they crank them out. They're really on top of it. What else is big in Hatfield? Hatfield Village is really the biggest. The Hatfield Apartments, yeah, a little bit. What's that?
Valley Stream.
Valley Stream. I think Valley Stream is Duffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Brookside is probably.
Yeah. Anything else? Well, good seeing you guys. I'll see you next year.
Yes. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you for coming out.
Have a good one.
All right.
Thanks.
You too. All right. Any citizens' comments? Any citizens' comments remaining? If not, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner Andrus. All in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thanks for coming out, folks.